Good morning. It's really my pleasure to meet you today. As I know, your company engages in business related to many different industries, including timepieces, jewelry, finance, and real estate. And Mr. Chen mainly devotes in the company financial service affairs. Besides your own company, many clients also seek professional and valuable financial advice from you. We would like to ask you a few questions through the golden opportunity today. First of all, why is there such close relationship among US dollar, oil, and gold? Let us talk about gold first. It is because investors use gold as a substitute of the US dollar they hold. In the other words, when the US dollar drops in value, investors will purchase more gold. On the other hand, when the US dollar rises in value, less investors will purchase gold. Let's take the market of January 2008 as an example. The Federal Reserve reduced the interest rate and the US dollar was kept persistently weak. Large amount of capital flowed into the gold market. Thus, the price of gold consistently rose to nearly $900 and had already reached a climax of over $1,000. Today, it dropped to around $918. Crude oil and the US dollar are vehicles against inflation. When inflation continues, investors will purchase oil futures contracts. When the demand increases and the supply decreases, the price increases and vice versa. Political instability of the oil exporting countries is also one of the factors contributing to the rising of oil price. In the financial market, there is a great relationship among the price of gold, oil, and the US dollar. Thus, it's very much worthy for us to pay attention to the oil price or the oil market.
Mr. Chen, why do some import and export corporations and companies importing raw materials especially like to hedge the risk?
A rise in the price of raw materials leads to a rise in the production cost. However, the burden may not be totally shifted onto the customers, and this could bring substantial loss and unstable revenue to the corporations. Their hedge is not for speculation, but using financial vehicle as a means for security. Moreover, fluctuating currency exchange rate and interest rate could affect companies' revenue. We would like to further ask about the means adopted by the companies to diversify the above-mentioned risks. They would purchase forward contracts for individual products. If their preferred hedge product is not available, they will buy options or derivatives with similar price movement. Good morning. It's our pleasure today to have Brian Grant, the Associate Director of Noble Apex, to be our guest. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Brian, you have accumulated 10 years professional experience in the investment market. Undoubtedly, you are familiar with various types of financial products. Today, it's my honor to have the chance to ask you a few questions. What kinds of people will buy and sell futures? This is a good question. There are two types of people buying and selling futures. The first type is manufacturers who really perform hedging through buying and selling futures. The second type is investors with speculation intention. When considering their proportion, it varies among different futures. Let's take gold as an example. The proportion of manufacturers is small, accounting for around 20%. Why are import and export firms and producers in favor of hedging the risk? If they are producers, they are inclined to maintain a stable cost and a steadily increasing revenue. They are not willing to have fluctuating production costs when they need to consume raw materials or the needed materials, but the prices are fluctuating continuously. They cannot simultaneously shift the rising cost onto the customers. Their profits are, in other words, drop. As they would like to keep a stable cost, futures are used for hedging. As there is the futures market, We do not have to worry about the risk arising from the product price. We only need to impose a complete hedge for the products or raw materials we need. Then, all the potential problems will be settled. If we are producing alloy, is it correct that we only need to purchase the futures contract for the raw materials we need? It is true theoretically. Futures, to a certain extent, are derived from demand, but futures contract may not find for all products. Some relatively rare products, such as certain types of metals, may not have futures contract. These contracts can be found for common metals like iron or aluminium and agricultural products like coffee or soya bean. However, products with small market may not have futures contract.
If there is no future contract for the products we would like to hedge, does it mean that we could not hedge or diversify the above-mentioned risks?
Actually, it does have difficulty, but if company wants to hedge, it can find futures contracts for related products which have a larger correlation coefficient.
And the companies usually hedge the risk?
It really depends on the raw materials, whether it accounts for a large part of the cost. If that is the case, the company would hedge the risk as under the circumstance that the cost drastically rise 10% or 20%. It may suffer a loss. The profit will also be affected seriously. Normally, the profit margin of a company is around 20 to 30%, which is not very high. Thus, the effects caused by these factors can be so great that the most of the company choose to hedge the risk. It's the end of our interview. Thanks very much for your fruitful sharing.
You are welcome.